So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to Ace Combat 3, and I'm going to be changing things up a little bit. I went and loaded up a separate save file that I made during the time that I was away, and I went back to a certain mission to where everything changes. So first off, I want to mention that there's a lot of text entries here in the search tab that tells about the history of this game. Like, what is general resource? What's NeuCom? What is anything? But it's all untranslated because evidently you're only allowed to have so much text on the screen, thanks to text limitations. So what is general resource? General resource is a conglomerate. By the way, I've got a really bad nasal problem, so you'll have to forgive me when I'm reading this. A conglomerate with enormous financial capital that dominates all kinds of industries and functions outside the framework of nations. Globalization of financial markets progressed in line with developments in capitalistic principles, and corporate mergers and takeovers began to be frequent and common. As a result, prominent capital assets in all countries were ultimately combined and concentrated on a large scale. Within this wave of worldwide conglomeration, the General Resource Group attained enormous growth and developed into a huge multinational corporate entity. With the arrival of multinational corporations like General Resource Group worldwide, the political framework of nations ruling by laws and regulations actually became meaningless. Enterprises like ones in our society today ruled the administrations, and a system was established where corporations commanded their own zones. And what is NeuCom, the other side of the fence? A corporation that began as space development and swiftly grew into an entity that rivaled General Resource. It did so through business monopoly and development of cutting-edge technologies in its diverse divisions. Neurocomputer Division, New Computer Technology, represented by Association Record Memory. Biochemistry Divisions, Global Information Communication Divisions, and Nanotechnology. NeuCom Incorporated is comprised of 5 operational departments: NeuCom Info, NeuCom Space, NeuCom Bio for Life Sciences, NeuCom Sphere for Communications, and NeuCom Publishing for Publicity and Foreign Affairs. The corporate name is a compound work of neuron and computer. UPEO, an abbreviation for Universal Peace Enforcement Organization, a countermeasure organization aimed at maintaining peace and order under the direct control of the new International Federation, the new United Nations. UPEO maintains the military force called SARF in order to suppress various disputes currently breaking out in various areas. An organization of the none, UPEO was established to maintain peace on Earth and possess jurisdiction superseding all racial and national laws. However, the fact is that until Gabriel Clarkson, originally member of the USEA Federal Assembly, assumed his present position as UPEO's representative, the real power was held by General Resource. In short, UPEO was a puppet of General Resource Limited. Since 2037, when Gabe Clarkson arrived at his post, UPEO re-verified the organization compass that it was first founded on, and develop policies based on the spirits of its peaceful principles. The significance of UPEO's existence was defined for the world to see. NEU, an abbreviation for NeuCom Emergency Unit, an organization designed to deal with NeuCom emergencies. NEU was a division of NeuCom Incorporated and originally in charge of security at the Research Development Facility. After its response to an unforeseen accident during developmental operations, NEU became the all-around security unit. Since 2037, when the quarrel between corporations developed a military aspect, NEU was outfitted with military armaments developed by NeuCom and transformed into a squad capable of responding militarily. Currently, it is growing into a military organization that cannot be defeated by general resource of defense force. Once again, I'm having nasal problems, so please forgive me. Someday I will either make or build a mute button. Next up, SARF, an abbreviation for Special Armed Response Force, the Special Air Force of UPEO. Disputes between the corporations began to come to a head in 2038. Forced to intervene militarily to suppress the growing conflict, the UPEO finally established a official military force called SARF. However, many problematic issues remained for UPEO. There were frequently cases where swift military measures cannot be taken because of Assembly member Gabe Clarkson's campaign Peace Principles Spirit. Furthermore, because of UPEO's reliance on large corporations for its military armaments, its total military strength cannot be improved, and thus UPEO is under the criticism that UPEO is a paper tiger. USEA, an abbreviation for the United States of Eurasia. USEA was originally a huge federation that ruled one of the 6 continents. However, multinational corporations such as the General Resource Group amassed power and in fact dismantled the framework of nations. As a result, USEA lost its functions as a country, and now it is keeping its name as a territorial demarcation for convenience sake. The new United Nations, an abbreviation for, new United Nations, an international peace organization is established to maintain international peace and order and to promote cooperation and goodwill between various countries. The Night Raven, it's classified. Being connected, to join a person more precisely through neuronal connections. Neuronal? Whatever. By connecting a computer directly to a human brain, a plane can thus be piloted. The ENSI Standard, abbreviation for Electro-Neuron Synapse Interface. A standardized circuit path that connects a pilot's nerve cells and a computer. Today, it is standard to pilot a fighter jet with ENSI Standard cable connecting the main computer inside the coffin to an electronic terminal that receives information from neurons of the pilot's locomotive nervous system and reflex nervous system. The Electrosphere, which is, cyberspace. A compound word from electrical, and sphere, a mass where particles gather, is called the Electrosphere because it turns space into an image on the computer network. In accessing information housed in every address on the network, you can make the network appear in space. By moving inside the Electrosphere in every endless direction, you can find your way to the information you want. Jamming, to emit interfering radio waves and cause radio wave obstruction. Data Swallow, the trade name of a computer operating system, OS, sold by General Resource Limited in 2032, is a system which includes a browser that connects to the Electrosphere and is able to access various informations, Since its introduction, Data Swallow is used worldwide as the standard OS. Data Swallow version 3.2.2, the newest version, went on sale in 2040. Peek-a-Boom. The name of an application software installed in Data Swallow OS in version 3.0.1 and later. One can look up various vocabularies. Peek-a-Boom is used in all sorts of situations as an extremely convenient application that will search the Electrosphere with a selected keyword and display the relevant data with a color image. The original publisher was a large art and science publishing company that had a special server for vocabulary search in its grocery research department. Grocery? Okay. The DOE development facility. Currently, I'm guessing it's classified? Yes, it is classified. Gosh, I cannot breathe. Silverstone Syndrome, a hereditary disease with a group of symptoms responding to electromagnetic rays. Because the patient does not have resistance against E-rays contained in the sunlight, he or she must protect his or her body from sunlight with protective clothing like a spacesuit. Because the person who first reported the disease was Professor Anthony Silverstone, this disease was generally called the Silverstone disease. Someday I will breathe again. Snyder's Hop. Name of for a territory in the northern region of USEA. The headquarters of the new United Nations is here. The Meriton Region. An undeveloped territory. Disputes between General Resources Limited and NeuCom Incorporated over this territory just will not end. Spy planes from the two companies frequently come and go over this area for surveillance. The Sandbury Desert. The territory where General Resources Limited once productively cleared up the land, built a geodesic dome. Now, constructions for a biotech plant by NeuCom is going on here. And now we're getting into people and personalities. What is our number? I think it's here somewhere. The common name for NeuCom Incorporated is fighter jets. For the model number of NeuCom Inc.'s fighters, such as R-101 and R-102, R comes from radical and represents the fighter's revolutionary design and style. Thus, in general, NeuCom Incorporated's fighters are called R numbers. General Broadcasting System, a broadcasting system on the Electrosphere, privately owned by General Resources Limited, established in 2035. GBS broadcasts a wide variety of programs from drama, variety to sports, all with relatively high entertainment value. In terms of viewer ratings, it surpasses all other systems. Something tells me it's reflective of a TBS, which is a Tokyo broadcasting system. NVS, NeuCom Visual System, name of a program broadcasting service on the Electrosphere that began in 2033. It was the first enterprise to broadcast using the media known as Electrosphere. At the beginning of the service, NVS broadcasted programs from other systems, but recently it is mainly broadcasting science information programs made by its parent company, NeuCom. The EAPN, the Euro-Asia Public Network, established in 2003, it is USEA's government-operated broadcast system. Teletext. Text broadcasting. Information service based on text data that broadcasts on the sphere. Text broadcasting was introduced by General Resource OS's Data Swallow when it was announced in 2032. In the initial sales period, the number of service subscribers outnumbered purchasers of the OS by 8 times. But in the following year, when the broadcasting service from NVS began, the number of users sharply declined. Today, in addition to text data, service is provided along with images. Nanotechnology. A technology under research development in NeuCom Incorporated that uses minute particles at the nanoscale. NeuCom Incorporated commenced development of minute particles that will endure any theoretical conditions. It succeeded in directly injecting programs into these particles. As a result, because it can perform work at the nanoscale where it executes its programs, the nanorobot became a reality. The product was released by NeuCom Incorporated in 2038 as a nanobyte. Because it is capable of adapting to extreme conditions and self-replication, plans for its use include practical applications in construction and space development, as well as a new energy source replacing nuclear power. The Faith Park Dispute. As an opportunity for General Resource Limited to gain economic dominance against NeuCom, a dispute suddenly erupted at Faith Park territory in 2040. A tense situation has continued between the two companies ever since the second half of the 30s. ITTC Co. Incorporated. INSA Telegraph and Telephone Communication. It was established in 1953 as USEA's government-operated telegraph and telephone company. After privatization in 2023, in the following year, it was bought out by General Resource. It is currently owned by GR. Its video mail and video phone service that began in 2031 allowed mediation of images on the Electrosphere and exchange of voice and text information in real time. In 2032, with the sales of Data Swallow, it is used worldwide as the standard communication system. And that's where we're at now. So, where were we? Yes.